Hello everyone, welcome back to the disgusting workshop. I really got to take a day and clean everything up in here. Today we're going to be looking at the key machine that I'm building for doing keyed shaft. So I've explained it several times before, but keyed shaft is a pretty big product that I've produced several times, and I would like to expand my operation, expand my keyed shaft operation, and do a lot more of it. For those of you that don't know, keyed shaft is just steel round bar with effectively just a groove down the center of it, a keyway. It is a stock item for many of my customers and for food processing plants, for really any industrial plant that has rollers, that moves material around in conveyor belts, has gearboxes for various things. Farmers use it a lot for various rotary implements, dammer dikers and such. So it's a big product, and I've been producing it for a number of years the old way, what I'm calling now the old way, which is you take a horizontal mill and you take a horizontal milling cutter and you just do 20 inches at a time, depending on the size of your mill. You could do 20 up to about 48 inches at a time, and it's kind of slow. It takes a while. It's not the best way to do it, in my opinion, and so I'm building a machine to use rollers in here to feed the keyed shaft under a milling cutter. This here's the roller you may have seen in a short. This is the design that I'm going to go with for my rollers. 2 small points of contact. This one's not machined down to fit in between here, but that'll be, I'll have 6 of those. No, I'll have 7 of those on the bottom, and then I'm just going to have a flat roller on top. Each of these boards will have a pin in it and a roller. And over here, I've got a gearbox from Adam over at Small Town Machine Shop that I'm going to use for this project, as well as a number of 3-inch hydraulic cylinders. I've got 6 of them I'm going to use for this project. They're going to be mounted up on top, and they're going to push down. They will provide all of the clamping action to make sure the keyed shaft does not, it doesn't move, because you got to clamp everything while you're milling, or so I'm told. And one of these, the top roller, it's going to be a V shape, and that will help keep the keep the bar from twisting. So it'll be something I experiment with. Now, because this machine is kind of experimental, I don't know if any of my ideas are going to work, and I really can't afford to be screwing around with too many, bad ideas. I can't really afford the steel and the time and the diesel and all that if this design doesn't work out. So I'm making everything simple and easy to modify in case, the steel rollers don't work out. Maybe steel rollers don't work out, they don't have enough friction, so I switch over to a softer metal that maybe has more friction, might be better, etc., etc. So for now, I'm just boring these out. I don't have a bar that can reach all the way through, so there's a little lip here, but I'm just boring these out, and they're all going to be plain bearings, just a shaft spinning in here. I'll put a grease zerk on all of them to lubricate the lower rollers. Now luckily, the drive rollers, they don't have to spin very fast. They're only going to be spinning somewhere between 5 and 10 RPM, depending on the size of the key and the horsepower of the milling machine. So they're not going to be spinning very fast. I think, and I really hope, that this design, when it's all put together, if it lasts 2,000 or 3,000 feet of keyed shaft without me having to revisit these bearings, I'll be happy. I'll be incredibly happy, because if it lasts that long, and if it lasts, if it lasts long enough to prove out the concept and to prove that my ideas work, then I'm going to revisit it. I will either add roller bearings or plain, bushings, brass bushings into each of these bores. I could use pillow block bearings, drill and tap for just standard pillow block bearings up on top. I'm not sure I like that idea. I like having precise bores that are that are machined parallel to each other. So I don't know, I might do pillow block bearings at some point, but for now, super simple plain bearings. It'll just be a chunk of mild steel rod going through there. If it lasts a few thousand feet of keyed shaft, I'm going to be super happy. And they're very low speed. So the 3-inch cylinders on top, I'm not going to use hydraulic pressure. I would love to use hydraulics for this whole machine, because I could very easily make the controls simple and efficient and quick to use. But for now, the first iteration of this machine, I'll be using just air pressure on all of the cylinders. If air pressure isn't enough, then I'll bite the bullet and go to hydraulics. For the first couple of 100 feet of keyed shaft to drive that gearbox, I think I'm just going to use a hand drill. I'm not going to mess around with trying to source a motor to drive it yet. I really want to prove out that these rollers are going to have enough grip and enough just friction on a round bar of various sizes to not slip under load. Because if these slip under load, any amount of money or time that I spent on anything else is going to be wasted. I think the angle of these chamfers is going to be very important. I don't think they're steep enough right now. I think I need to make them a lot steeper. Actually, I guess it's shallower. I need to make them shallower. So we'll see what happens. I think this is going to be a very interesting project. I'll be videoing some of it, and hopefully we'll be making a lot of keyed shaft here soon.